stocks are on pace for a third straight winning day after a softened rhetoric coming out of Washington yesterday. It was that really gave a boost and a little reprieve to the markets. So we do want to take a look at the bigger picture. David Stryzewski is with us, CEO of Sound Planning Group, to talk about this market action. It's good to see you. And I said, what is this, a miracle? We're up 3 days in a row. I mean, we barely see back-to-back gains. We'll take it, I guess. Some
Absolutely.
of your thoughts.
Hey, I mean, Dow above 40,000. This is incredible. I mean, we are seeing record levels right now. 10 years ago, no one thought we'd be seeing 40,000 Dow right now, and so here we are. So it's exciting. I mean, I think that, like you said, it's a little bit miraculous given all the headwinds that are coming at us right now, and so I think we've got a little bit of softening that's coming up, and so, you know, I don't want us to get like too, comfortable with everything going into the green all the time, because it will, but it also does some of those negative things when we got some of this turbulence going on here. So I'm expecting a little bit of softening over the next 2 to 4 quarters. But that gets us into position here for the future, I think, in a really beautiful way. And we'll be waiting for the Fed to loosen up everything.
May not come for a bit. Right now, you have names like Salesforce, Caterpillar, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Disney, Boeing leading the way on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So that's good news there for folks that are bullish. The question is, did the bottom get in? Did we see the double bottom we needed to see? The VIX has behaved. It's at 27. It's below 30.
That's good.
So people are feeling pretty good. But this is a headline-driven market. So one headline can send us up to new highs even, maybe. I mean, I saw one stock, Netflix, was at new highs today, right? I mean, it's pretty amazing in this environment. But a headline can turn us down, too.
That's right. So I like the idea of selling the rips in order to buying the dips. I do think that we are going to get into more volatility here. There's just no question. There's too many things that could be exposed. There's too many things that could go weird. But you know what? There's some incredible opportunities that are in front of us right now. I really think that the catalyst for strong growth long term will be, what do we figure out with China and the big tariff talk here? And so, we can probably get into that a little bit more. But in my opinion, that is the thing that we're waiting on in the market is too.
We heard from Scott Bissett yesterday, and he was saying, look, as we tone down, we're hoping for a mutual coming down of tariffs. They hadn't yet spoken. I don't know, everybody was so flabbergasted to hear that China said today talks haven't started. We know that.
Right.
I don't understand why people were taken aback by that. Maybe they'll get a little chat at G20. I don't know. Maybe they'll be a little friendly, something. But the big picture is Scott Bissett said it's going to take 2 to 3 years to really get this plan going.
Right. Well, and we've got certain things that the Fed can't even affect, which is the supply side of our economy. They can't affect how home and auto insurance is going to go up or not. Like, I just got a 25% increase and my property tax just went up 25%. Holy smokes.
That's so much.
It's insane. My house didn't go up that much last year, but the city needs money.
What state is that?
It's Washington State.
Okay, so it's pretty amazing, and people cannot handle that. I mean, nobody can handle that kind of increase. It's too much. It's too much in one shot, and we always say that about the trajectory of things. You can handle it if it's slow.
Yeah.
I just was reading about home buyers that got cold feet and stepped back. They see the environment. They know they're in a higher rate than when it was 3 or 4%, so they're backing off. Tell me about now the opportunities for investors. Where do you think people should put money to work?
Well, there's no question that I think all roads lead to like hard assets, physical things, gold, silver, Bitcoin. We are early, by the way, in Bitcoin. It's still early. We're still under 100,000 right now. Just to be very clear, I anticipate 250,000 Bitcoin by the 250th anniversary of our nation, July 4th, 26. And so we're on a trajectory. Yeah, very much so. Wow. There's a liquidity crisis. We don't have enough of it. And that is the very thing that comes down with gold and silver as well. And so,
people would love that if that were in fact the case. I mean, I remember when Bitcoin was below 1,000.
Yeah, right.
And, these 2 kids in the pool were telling my 2 kids in the pool, hey, we got Bitcoin. And I just was listening, but I didn't go and buy it.
Right.
It's interesting. So, but you think it's still early going? I mean, do you think at the end of this year, Bitcoin will be higher than the current level?
Oh yeah, way more, way higher. I think that we're getting to a place right now. I like to think about it from the average person's standpoint. Let's just say that somebody could save $10,000 a year. Well, if they could save $10,000 a year at the current price, it would take over 9 years for them to own a whole Bitcoin. It's going to take way more than 9 years for them to get that coin. Well, it's not going to stay at this price level for that long. We are literally at the last 1 million coins to be mined for another 107 years ahead of us. And so this is something that is not going away. This is a real asset. The United States is looking at this asset as a reserve. And I think that we're thinking, it could go over 1 million. There's a lot of arguments to say 3 million that Bitcoin can get up to. I don't know ultimately. I just believe that it's worth a lot more than it is now.
And you believe it's real. What about the people who say it could collapse in one day? It's not that real. What do you tell those folks that are sort of nervous?
They would say the very same thing about the fiat dollar. Well, if it's not backed up by something, then it could collapse in a day. Well, here's the point. With Bitcoin, this is something that if you live in another nation, I've been using this example. If you live in another nation that has high inflation, like 50, 60%, plenty of them out there, you get your paycheck on Friday, what's the first thing you're going to do? Cash that sucker in, you're going to buy Bitcoin, you're going to buy gold, you're going to buy something that's not going to erode when your currency devalues. Right now, the United States dollar is looking at devaluing.
Right.
And so what do you want to identify? You want to find places that are going to have strategic holds on the capital.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, how would you suggest people get Bitcoin? Is it all those ETFs that were approved last year?
That's a great way to go because you don't have the custody challenge.
But you don't actually hold real Bitcoin. You hold Bitcoin futures, or some of them are spot?
Yes, some of them are spot, some of them are futures. There's different ways to do it depending on how things are set up. I personally hold directly because it's low cost, nothing, and I can put it in a cold storage and it's mine. I don't ever intend to sell though, personally. So how I intend to use this, just to be clear, I'm not going to be transacting dinner tonight with this.
Right.
I'll use US dollars for that. I'm going to save this long term, and if I use it as value, it'll have gone up, and I'll get a loan against it, which is a tax-deductible deal, at least in today's world. And then I'll take that margin of gain, and I'll be able to use those dollars without paying tax, without selling it. And so this is how you become a strategic reserve. I like businesses that are doing this. I'm doing this in my businesses.
I feel like, and I want to move on to other things, but I do feel like the tax structure on Bitcoin's got to change. Because so many people own Bitcoin and they're making money on Bitcoin, and the U.S. not making money on the Bitcoin.
Well, I pay tax on it.
You're making money. The gains you've had on Bitcoin, you pay tax on?
When you sell. But what I'm saying is if you don't realize the capital gain because you never sell because you take a loan against it, tax deductible, you got the use of it, pay off that loan with something income producing.
All right, there you have it. I hope you guys took some notes on that. How about some other, what do you think about stocks? Are there any stocks or sectors you like?
Absolutely. Well, let me just focus on this one. I feel like I say this often. I mean, hey, I love tech. I love AI. I love what's going on right now. But I just want to bring ideas to the table that I think are unique. We have not seen gold miners go up in value relative to how much gold has gone up in value. So the ounces in the ground are still the same. It's just that they're, I think you're going to see these gold miners ultimately have amazing quarters on earnings.
That would be GDX, right? Is that what we're talking about? Right. So GDX just hit a high pullback just recently, but so GDX still has room to go, even though it's up almost 50% this year.
I think you're going to probably see mining sectors lead out of all 11 over the next 3 years and 5 years, all sectors, including tech. Why? Because tech doesn't happen unless you have silver. That's the other thing. The 100 to 1 ratio of silver to gold right now is an absolute gift. Do you know that you can't run an economy unless you have silver? Gold's a nice thing to have, but you can't run an economy without silver. You can't do chips without silver. You can't do all these things without silver. We need miners to do it. And by the way, the junior miners will be the place that they go to because no one wants to explore. It takes 15, 16 years to get a mine going.
All right, David Stryzewski, CEO, Sound Planning Group. Always great to have you on, David. Thank you so much. Nice to see you.